right, welcome on back to Joker Tower Season 2. I'm excited. Also, this is what my Minecraft looks like now. We've got some ghast riders, and I feel like this is kind of fitting. So, just think of the ghasts as negative human behavior. Also, this is what the city texture pack is supposed to look like. We'll see if it actually loads. I'm not too worried about it. I'm a fan of the traditional Minecraft look. I just really liked the city texture pack because, I mean, I bought it and I use it, but I'll figure it out at some point. But, and sorry, not to make that sound like, why am I not getting my money's worth? It's like, no, I mean, it's a very cool texture pack, but, like, I get it. Bugs happen and there's so many things changing. And look, boom, I went like 2 episodes without it, so what a time to be alive, I guess I should say. Like, things are just so amazing. So, yeah, we have our city texture pack. The first episode did not, and that's okay. It still looked cool. Although now, welcome to the world of the Joker Tower as the city texture pack. Let's go take another look at those towers, especially at night. Let's see, everything's different. Like the nether portal, the emerald blocks, the bricks. The Joker Tower is different. Oh, wait. I don't want to go too far. We'll see that here coming up soon. Because we're working on the excommunication station. Which could have a couple of meanings. I think that's just kind of funny. Oh, and look at the pieces. So this is, I'm excited to go see it. So the diorite and the granite look different with the city texture pack. You know, my tools look different. Like, look at all that. The ovens look different. The furnaces. Like, all the stone looks different. The torches look fancy and swanky. The chests look like musician chests to keep musical instruments safe while transporting. Like, and also keep other things safe and blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, for now, we need to find diorite. Lots and lots of diorite and some granite. Don't need as much granite. And then what we need, a couple more stairs. And the rest I should probably do as tiles. Yeah, because we're going to need, what was I saying last time? We got like over 400 spaces. So we need at least 4 stacks. Well, no, 2, but the stacks are only in 64, so a little over half of one of the hundreds. We need 4 of them, and then we need 8 of them really because there's 2 of each colored tile. Yeah, so either way, we're still gonna need a lot of these, but we use the stairs too because eventually I'm gonna need to go back. I think I'm gonna need to just go and mine some more diorite. So, whoops. Is that about even? I don't even know. We'll find out pretty soon here. And I do have a lot more granite than diorite because I was already using a lot of diorite on the artificial ski mountain. Let's go look at that. Oh yeah, and then even the characters look different. Look at that. That's not your average wandering trader. And then, oops. I will take, yes, cheap lumber, flowers, and more flowers. So that's going to work well for the bees. I mean, for now, we'll just toss all of them up here, but I don't need that. I'll go replenish my emerald supply. So emeralds are just really easy to obtain now that I have a farm, a big old melon farm. So let's go back to the excommunication station and the accountability highway. Now it's literally just like a highway, a roadway, a pathway for, and actually, it's might as well. We could also bring the stuff to make a railway. Might as well, because I decided I am going to be making that as part of it. Let's see. Let's get a few stacks of those. And then we need, let's actually, this is like a computer. You got to move some stuff so you have some swap space to really do stuff. Now we need some wood. I don't want to use dark oak. I prefer using spruce, but we'll take some jungle wood. Dark oak is just really hard to harvest. So jungle wood and spruce wood are about the easiest. And see, I guess I didn't even really need all that. Now we need rails. One more of those. That's probably okay. Wait, I mean, if we've got 400 spaces, we've already done something else. We're actually going to need a bit more. Huh. Yeah, see, already we're running out of room. Put those back, got the sticks. And then we need powered rails. We need redstone torches. So really, let's see. Well, whatever. We'll work with this for now. Let's see. Let's actually move some more of these things out. And then use that. Gotta make those. Gonna need a lot more redstone. That. Then we're gonna need gold. Well, let's go ahead and get rid of this and this. Oh wait, we do need sticks. 12 powered rails. All right, so that's a good start. That'll be enough for now. I mean, the rest we can make as like just regular rails until I figure out exactly how much I need. Let's go ahead and brick this back up. Okay. And there. So now we can take as many of these things as we can. I think that's about it, actually. Okay. Now we can continue on. Excuse me. So, where we left off with the first episode is I was talking about the victim in my 2009 case, a really despicable person that did many, many bad things. I wasn't perfect, but the stuff that I did, I mean, legally speaking, could have been seen as bad. But again, if it had all happened today, the only bad thing I would have done is take it a little too far and lose a little bit of control in retaliation against being violently attacked. Oh, look at this. This is all even cooler now looking at the checkerboard. It's like smoother and cleaner. It almost hurts the eyes. Like that kind of is not fun. Like this. How it kind of like keeps going back and forth. That's almost like migraine-y, so. I don't know if I like that. Actually, you know what? Ow, that really does kind of hurt. Hurts the eyes. Look at it. It's like warping. I don't know. Nah. I'm gonna turn that off. Creatius Maximus Incontinent and Darius. Not Ohio, okay. Edit world. Wait. Deactivate. Okay. We'll play it as traditional Minecraft. At least for this roadway, because now I got to rethink that, because I am going to be playing in City Texture Pack a lot, but that roadway, that sucks. Like, because I get migraines, and that's what it looks like. Yeah, see, right there? Actually, I guess if you look in the distance, they both kind of do it. I That's not fun. Oh, well, just maybe just don't look at the distance. Okay. Well, anyways, this still looks pretty cool. I guess that's just going to be an annoying thing. It's not as bad on this one. I feel like that last one, it was just really intense. It's like I feel like I was getting a migraine. I'm like, nah, don't want to be doing that. It is still City Texture Pack. Hold on. Oh well, whatever. That's okay. Like I said, I understand there's a lot of moving parts here, and this is like already doing astoundingly well, keeping up with my spazzy self, like changing things, fiddling with things, turning things on and off, going back, and like technology has just gotten amazing, you know. And you used to have to baby this stuff so much, and just like pray to the tech gods that it would work, and you know, and that everything was set up correctly, plugged in, not broken. Like, ugh, we've come a long ways, and I will not forget that. But anyways, back to the project. So a few projects are kind of like not directly or indirectly relying on this stuff. This is just something that's like it's been a long time coming for one, because I mean the noble answer is all of his victims, you know, they deserve justice, and I don't think that they got justice. The selfish reason is I don't think I got justice. I think he got away with a lot of things, both against me and a lot of the people that we knew. And I don't think he learned any lesson from any of that. And why do I say that? Well, I reached out to him a few times over the years, and not once was he even remotely like kind, apologetic, or anything. He was still very stubborn, like, you know, not thinking that he did anything wrong. Like, I think he did say sorry at some point after I went first, but it just wasn't sincere. Like, it wasn't that, like, he thought he got away with it, and so he's fine. He's okay. Like, he doesn't need to put any more effort towards this. He doesn't think that he owes anything to anybody, even though he did drug and rape people. So then that's the thing. Is like, and the reason I say that is because since he got caught on two recorded phone calls admitting that he knew that the woman was drugged, that tells me that he drugged some other women, because why would they do that? They wouldn't just be like, "Hey, I drugged this chick for you. Go ahead." No, it's just like in Better Call Saul, how Mike explains it. Like, we all got along to get along, and what that means is like the people that were taking a taste or taking the payoffs from gangs, or like making sure some of the money didn't make it into evidence, like pocketing some of the money, like, you know, everybody did it, so then you were all accountable. So if one person went down, they all went down. And so that meant that they would usually not rat on each other, because then that would mean that they all got into some serious trouble. Now, that's the thing. He confided in me, who was not part of the frat. I was an outsider, and he was kind of an outsider too. I think it was like part of the initiation. Is like maybe that's why he did, and maybe he is just more of a victim. But I mean, come on, a victim that raped people, like, I mean, it's not as big of a victim. Like, he still deserves some kind of comeuppance. But like, if he was tricked or coerced into it, then yeah, the other guys need to be caught, and maybe they did. Maybe all of this stuff is for naught, and maybe the people really did get justice. Although I don't feel confident in that. One, because he didn't tell me that. He didn't say, "Oh yeah, I rolled on these people," and like because of me, a bunch of other people got in trouble. No, it was I got 5 years probation. That was it. Like, I was like, okay. And I think he even said that he joined the army. I was a little drunk when I was talking to him, um, but I have a very good memory, especially on times like that when I'm like on a mission trying to get something accomplished. Like, yeah, I remember a lot of that, because you have to. And like, you know, when you're dealing with certain things, you got to have a very good memory. So, anyways, so that's just why I even like obsess about this, like, because I don't think that it was actually fixed, and I think it's just one of many sex offenders that the law doesn't really apply to them, and then, but it's a lot easier for the laws to apply to other people for the war on drugs, and to severely punish people and put them in jail and prison, make them feel like complete garbage humans, even though there's people out there like straight up raping people and they're getting off scot free. So that's why I do these projects. So, and this is just one. Like, I mean, my ultimate goal is to get like a bunch of like tech computers and help internet connections to families with kiddos, that way that all people, and I'm talking people in other countries, people in this country, like, I mean, Buena Vista didn't have high-speed internet until I think 2019. Like, And that's my hometown. Like, I mean, that we had horrible internet. We had dial-up that was okay, I guess. We were always the laggy people in games, the shameful people, and like it was tough. And first world problems for sure. There's people around the world that don't even get to play video games online. It's a travesty. Like, it needs to be fixed. So, anyways. And then also a lot of my role models and my favorite people in this world, like hip hop artists and musicians, they speak out against rape. They speak out against taking shortcuts against people and stealing too. Like if you listen to the lyrics of like Cypress Hill and Snoop Dogg and Wu-Tang Clan, like they tell you don't steal from people, don't take shortcuts, don't do this, don't do that. They're like trying to teach people the way to be legit, to be a real G, is you don't, screw over your people or your community, like your strong communities. You don't want to take these shortcuts, and then there's still the underlying idea, concept of God and religion in a lot of hip hop and music too. Like, a lot of these people are still God-fearing humans that if the creator or anyone higher up the chain than us comes back and says, why did you do all this stuff? That's going to be a situation. And if you've seen Ancient Aliens, I've watched the first season of Ancient Aliens. It's awesome. I'm going to buy the disc set when I have money. Like that's on the list. Like between that, paying for a license for Sublime, um, just things that I kind of owe people. I use the free version and I appreciate it, but I'm not quite in the position to where I can be like, yeah, here's some money. I have done that with Wikipedia, and I've also bought and given away a couple computers to people that needed them, um, along with mice, keyboards. I basically did IT work for the community, and I want to keep doing that. It was out of my own pocket that time, but I think I can figure out a way to get other people to pay for it. I just help distribute them, maintain them, troubleshoot them, basically do IT for the community. And yeah, so kind of like Better Call Saul, how they want to do law for people that can't afford it. That's what Kim Wexler is all about. The whole show is like she wants to provide a defense for people that don't really have anywhere else to turn. They can't afford a good lawyer, so they get whatever the public defender is, whether they have time, whether they care, like all this and that. And like, yeah. And that's just one of the many problems of our society is that law costs so much that people, if they have money, they can stay out of trouble. They can do all sorts of horrible things and nothing really happens to them. However, if you're just a normal person, you make a mistake, you have the book thrown at you, and it's an easy, low-hanging fruit for the judge even and the lawyer, the district attorneys to just be like, all right, book him, Dano. Like, let's get him. Yay, we're doing something. We've met our quota. And then, like, I don't know, our sitting president right now has 34 felonies. And I honestly try to find the good in everybody, but 34 felonies, not a day in jail. That would not happen. If I got one felony, I would spend at least booking in jail. And then my booking would be usually like 12, 15 hours. They'll get to you when they get to you, especially if you've had any substances. You got to sober up until you're good and sober. Then you can be booked into jail and just all this. And yeah, so it's a lot more painful for people that, poor people. Whereas he could have been on all sorts of prescription drugs, Adderall probably, like which is synthetic meth and like, opiates in a bottle. Like he could have had his whole pharmacy just like, woo, high as a kite while he's getting booked. Let's do a photo op. Ooh, let's purse the lips like Duckface and, get a mugshot. Yay, 34 felonies. It's ridiculous. Like anybody who's ever been in trouble with one felony is got to be pissed about that. So, and that's just one thing. Now, Biden's not much better. Like, he pardoned his son for drug use, recorded drug use, and solicitation of adult entertainers. Like, and that's another thing. We need to legalize adult entertainment, um, regulate it and tax it. Like, people thinking that they're doing the right thing, the God thing, and all that are really just helping people get oppressed and people that want to try to take shortcuts. See that I'm getting a little passionate about that, but anyways, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Hmm. So, anyways, I'm just, yeah, a lot of projects, a lot of reasons for the projects. Like, I've had friends that did adult entertainment and capitalized off of that sort of thing. But you got to be careful because it's so easy for poor people to get in trouble for the things that the rich people are doing left and right. Like, oh, hee hee, whatever. Like, oh, we'll do this and that. And, you know, you can get a couple call girls and smoke a bunch of crack and call it a vacation. Be back at your day job on Monday. Be totally fine. But if you're a poor person doing any of that, could get you 5 years in prison and they can take everything you own. See, and that's the difference. Is like, could you imagine Hunter Biden doing 5 years in prison and then the government taking his house, taking his car, taking all that, all for like the very large amount quantities of drugs that he had on camera that he was using? And not to throw the book at him either. Like, you put any Republican on a polygraph, they'll say, "Oh yeah, no, I've tried this, I've tried that." Like, you know, they would be caught for doing a lot of the same stuff poor people do. How do I know that? Because a person doesn't change with wealth. I mean, yeah, they change a little bit, but not that extreme. They don't completely like go with God and drink nothing but diet, you know, Coca-Cola for life. Trump did cocaine back in the day. Let's just be honest. You don't become the king of New York for decades without dabbling in the devil's dandruff. It just doesn't happen. So, boom. Like, he's done illegal drugs. Reagan trafficked cocaine. Like, all of these things. We'll get into all of that. Like, you know, the Joker Tower, the accountability station, like Conjunction Junction. What's your function? Well, it's like Conjunction Junction, only it's going to be like the observations and the judgments of the public. There you go. And then it's mostly going to be geared at the wealthy, the powerful, the politicians, the people that, you know, are able to get away with a lot more just because of who they are, what they have, stuff like that. And there is a whole bunch of people. There's like 99% of the population that would enjoy to see that kind of entertainment. Now, again, legal, and we're not going to eat the rich. We're not going to do anything like that. We're going to just be stubborn and hold people accountable. And I mention Ancient Aliens because I honestly think that's the most logical, like, explanation for just about everything. That there is an alien race somewhere that is more advanced than us, that has traveled here, taught us a bunch of things, tried to give us guidebooks, said we'll be back in a couple thousand years, be good, you know, we will be back. And then, you know, and Jesus was just some guy wandering around, like, saying all this, like, hey, they're going to be back and we got to be good. And, and then that got translated and distorted and changed over the thousands of years to be like, well, okay, we're more or less following it, but now we've got these groups of people that are so worried about losing their riches or having to live in horrible situations that they are willing to bend some rules and to abuse the guidelines that the creators left with us, saying, hey, don't steal from people, don't rape people, don't, you know, tell lies, don't use shortcuts. Money is bad. Like, you use it for what you need, but don't hoard it. Don't end up being wicked with it. Like, all these things. And it's like removing the thorn from the paw. You know, these wealthy families are lions with a thorn in their paw, and you got to remove the thorn without shooting the lion. Like, you know, that eliminates the point. And any creator of anything, like us being a creator of this Minecraft world, if I came back and found out my villagers were treating each other that way, I would be upset and I would seek retribution. Within limits, though, and that's why I honestly feel like the ancient astronaut theory makes the most sense, because then it's just other people coming here and they're still feel fearful of the creator, whoever that might be. They may know more, they may know less. Like, who? Most likely they know more, but even then, how much more? Like, do they even really know any all that more, or are they just as confused as us? Like, hey, we're floating out here too, but I can tell you that, you know, if our creator is anything like us, they wouldn't like this, this, and this. So. And that's how we've ended up in like a King Herod situation of the wealthy doing all sorts of unspeakable things and being able to get away with it, while poor people, you know, they make mistakes, they have to learn the hard way with just about everything. So, and some with their lives, like the George Floyd example. George Floyd was executed publicly on accident. It wasn't intentional. Nobody intended for him to die, but the situation ended up with him dead over a fake $20 bill. And there were drugs in his system, and he was probably selling drugs, and some of those drugs were the deadly ones that, you know, like, it was the whole combination. But ultimately, and I keep going back and forth on this. I almost have to always look it up to like know for sure. But like ultimately, they ruled that if he had not been in that situation, he would not have died, despite all the drugs in his system. Now the drugs were still a factor, but the chokehold was like ultimately like the cause of death. So um, take with that what you will. Like maybe it wouldn't have been a cause of death if he didn't have drugs in his system. Maybe he wouldn't have drugs in his system if he was empowered to go to school and if he felt he had a shot at being a lawyer or a policeman or even an athlete. But no, he was in a low point of his life in despair. And maybe not even, it might not even seemed like a low point. He might have been having the time of his life, quick money with drugs and being like, oh, this is what rich people live like every day. Like, let's go do this and that. And then, well, that doesn't last forever because you don't have the same family structures and like, support networks and money flows that like, it's just not possible for you. So then you end up having to take shortcuts of your own, like fake 20s, um, maybe more addictive drugs. Maybe that's why the fentanyl was there. Like maybe he was really just trying to sell other drugs that weren't nearly as addictive and dangerous. And meth and opiates are used to make like things like cocaine and crack a little more addicting and a little more um, valuable because then people are addicted. Then they come back and they buy it more. So, and then people discover that, and it's a whole vicious cycle that happens to so many people over and over again. And then you get to jail, and by the time you get to jail, you're like, I don't want to do any of it. I'm done. I'm done with all of this. And like, you try to run and distance from yourself, which actually ends up in making a lot of other people feel like garbage. Like, well, they're still in it. Maybe they don't want to change yet. Maybe they were still having fun, but I'll tell you what, jail isn't fun and blah, blah, blah. But then that's just even more of the point. Like, if you're a rich person, you go to rehab, you get to, like, take a nice vacation and learn about, like, healing and yourself and any trauma or anything. Like, and you get, like, a good spa treatment. Whereas, like, if you're poor, you go to jail, you go to booking, you get to sweat it out in the jail, come down off of all the drugs, and then you have to do like court fines, and then you have to do monitoring, like BAs and UAs. If your family's wealthy, you might get sent to a rehab, and that might be part of your punishment. It's like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. As long as they're in rehab, that's okay. And so, and people are figuring that out. And my point is, if you're Tim Allen, you can literally traffic cocaine for years and be fine. You can be a household name. You're not brain dead. You're not even brain damaged. And he wasn't just like taking it because it looked cool. He was doing it because it was a ticket to power, wealth, and happy feelings in a bottle, in a bag, basically. That's why I love Gorillas. They even have that as like some lyrics, like I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. My future, he's coming on. And that's like the feeling of drug use and addiction and all that is like, like, yeah, like you feel great and all this and you're ready to take on the world, but you're still limited to like that happiness is contained in that bag. So you can control it. You can say, I want to be happy now. And then boom, you're happy. But then it's a hollow type of happy. And there are these themes that reverberate through gaming and music culture, like Dark Souls. You go hollow. Like I feel like Dark Souls is completely about both the PTSD of killing things, and then also like drug use and addiction, like just human nature and emotions, and then wanting to feel good and like control that feeling of good. Some do it through religion, some do it through clean living, most do it through shortcuts. And then there's some that just kind of enjoy everything and like I don't know. Again, this is all human nature. These are not some weird aliens, and even the aliens, like I feel like, are probably a lot more like us if they exist. I mean, for all I know, we could be the only life. It's very unlikely, like knowing what we do know, and how there are several other planets out there that have some very similar conditions to us, that could have the very similar life as us, the same elements, the same temperatures, the same conditions. Like, do they have an atmosphere? Do they have this and that? And what if they don't have an atmosphere? Maybe life will find another way, and then they'll do this and that and this. So, I hope doing the railway will make it better with the whole optical migraine, like literal optical migraine. So, let's see here. So, anyways, I'll have to figure out something like the accountability excommunication station. That sounds snazzy, and that's the first point of focus for politicians, especially MAGA politicians, because they are so superstitious with religion, to where we need to be good Christians. Okay, do you now? And that's why people are coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Hey, now the Bible says this. The Bible contradicts what you say here." And the Bible wouldn't approve of this, and not even just the Bible, Jesus, and and like they come with receipts and examples, like how he constantly talks about like welcoming the foreigner, you know, clothing, housing the foreigner, doing all these good Christian things. And yet, like, yeah, not everybody can be like, yeah, I'll take someone into my house. Like, that's just not realistic. But, if the government's able to, and if we're paying money into the government, then maybe in a roundabout way, we could justify and be like, yeah, we are actually housing these people. So, what a lot of people are doing is just like, it's just not, whoa, what's this music? I don't know. I love this game. It just keeps getting better and better. I guess this isn't too bad as long as you don't stare off too far in the distance, and that's kind of a life lesson anyway. This is going to run out real quick, but it's some nice music. Oh, and there's also the gas strider. So this is technically, that could be like kind of like a analogy or kind of like some kind of funny thing is like, we're working on taming the gas, usually just this like very angry and dangerous entity in the underworld. But now you can actually make them friends and allies and treat them with respect and kindness and even ride them or something, domesticate them. But respect and kindness still needs to happen. Same with horses, same with, or people that are troubled. You can not ride them like animals, but like this guy. Like, I don't think he ever really paid for it. There's women out there that probably don't think that he ever repaid his debt to them. Like, never learned a lesson for what he did. So he probably went off and did it a few more times. Like, what's the point at that point? Now, for me, and I remember them saying that, like they said with like the drug dealer surcharges, like, this wasn't the first time you did this. So this is accountability for all the times you did this. So, which they meant to justify that, $3,000 fine and all this stuff on top of all the court costs and monitoring costs, the UAs, the BAs. A UA is a urine analysis, which usually costs anywhere. It used to be $10. Now it's like easily up to 15, maybe even 20 per time. And you have to pee in a cup and they can test if you've had drugs in your system. Illegal drugs, mind you. If you have a prescription for Adderall, you can literally have amphetamines in your blood and your pee, and it's fine. Like, you could literally smoke meth if you have an Adderall prescription. Not that I ever did, but I did have an Adderall prescription. And I thought about that. I was like, so they show up as the same as like methamphetamine. So someone could be tweaking and they'd be like, oh, I got a prescription for Adderall. Literally do one of the most dangerous substances we know. Be totally fine. So that's kind of like a flaw I see, but I mean, and I'm not trying to say we need to fix it by more punishment and more like enforcement. No, we need to relax the reins a little bit and understand people are going to make mistakes, and not everybody's going to be like, all right, I'm ready for a life change right away. Like, there's a whole myriad of factors that, and the rich people aren't even doing it. If you look at Trump's White House medication list, they were doing fentanyl and sleeping pills and all this like other like chemicals that are basically like street drugs, just the legal version. And it's like, wow, like these are the people that are in charge of the country, and they're just like, because it's all recorded, everything that's taken from the pharmacy. It was like, okay, so this was taken, this much of this was taken, etc., etc. So, oh wait, and we can actually, there we go, we just don't got to look too far ahead. And one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to 40. Down to 32. Down to 24. Pretty sure I've tested this out. My cousin and I tested this out a long time ago. And it is the maximum length between that you can keep your maximum velocity. Some people like to make entire rails out of powered rails, but I feel like that's excessive. Like you can't go faster or slower than the maximum velocity. So, oops. Okay. Oops. And then I might test it again because I mean a lot of things change. Like I mean already we've got the new opening scene. They're constantly adjusting things, fixing bugs, adding things, removing things. I don't think they remove a lot, but like bees were part of an update. Horses, I'm sure. Like all the mobs. What did we get? The new mobs just recently. Okay, I don't have any more, but we can keep going like this. Okay. So, anyways, we need to figure out how to stop the behaviors from happening. We need to stop any possibility of people being able to use date rape drugs. Like that, first and foremost, should not even be a possibility. Like that, I don't even know. All the other things, we need to adjust it and figure out punishments that actually fit the crimes because all other illegal drugs, except for fentanyl, are pretty much, and meth. Like meth is still pretty up there, but meth and fentanyl are like the two main ones, and alcohol. Now, alcohol, you're not going to be able to just completely get rid of. Nor should you. I mean, people that use it responsibly and that are at a good part of their life that can use it responsibly, totally fine. They should have the freedom to do that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. But other people that would rather choose to recreate with just about anything else, because literally nothing else except for fentanyl is as dangerous and deadly as alcohol or tobacco. Tobacco kills hundreds of thousands a year, even millions, and alcohol kills millions every year, either directly or indirectly. Like it's fact. Like we have these numbers, whereas weed, nah, not nearly as bad of a deal. Now maybe in concert with other things, yeah, sure, but if you're just out there smoking bud and minding your own business and not getting all crazy, and usually it's alcohol, it's still alcohol. You're really not likely to go out there and hurt other people, be a problem for law enforcement, have to like cause other people shortcuts and hardships, and all of that just doesn't happen. Usually, again, alcohol. Now, the interesting thing is weed usually replaces alcohol because most people can't afford to do both or like keep up a steady supply of both. So they'll make a choice at some point. They'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with weed this week, this month. And then the next thing you know, they're like, well, I just smoke weed now. I don't even really drink. Like, I've lost the desire to drink unless in social situations. But even then, like after COVID, a lot of people are like, you know what? I kind of like it without social situations. So, except for the people that have the FOMO, they feel like they're missing out. There's definitely a lot of that. But I don't know. Where am I going with all this? I'm actually, holy cow. I didn't set the alarm. My bad. I'm already 8 minutes past. I was like, I'll talk for a whole hour on accident sometimes. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and call it there. But that's episode 2 of the Joker Tower season 2. And already that looks better with like that. It doesn't look as bad. So that just looks bad. Ugh. But with the railroad, and still I don't have to focus on that. I could just be looking at these. So for anyone, I apologize that also gets migraines that might feel that way with that. It's not my intent. We'll finish off these two and we'll call it a. But anyways, I got to go do some weeding. I got to talk to my rental company. Some of my projects are trying to fix this house up after it was so abused by the previous renters, and now I'm on the hook for it. But they don't really understand what all's wrong with it, or if they do, they're not going to communicate back and forth. But I'm going to fix that because I'm not going to pay for it for sure. I don't want to get in trouble for any of it. I've been here 5 months now, so, whew. But I'm still slowly reporting the other stuff because the very first and foremost was radon. We had 3 times the healthy amount for radon. And for those that don't know, a lot of houses in Colorado have what's known as radon from breaking the rock and stuff. And so it's this poisonous gas that over time can develop cancer in you, give you cancer. So it's a very big deal now. And some people, I even heard someone say, "Oh, that's such a liberal thing." It's like, what, to not want to get cancer? Like that's really weird, but all right. So I did a test, found that they had 3 times the levels. Told them about that. I said, "Hey," and they fixed it right away. They did, and they told me like anything else that's wrong, just do maintenance requests. Just keep doing maintenance requests, and they're willing to work with me. They don't want to punish me either, but I gotta not corner them into the like a corner. So I'm gonna pull some more weeds, send them some pictures because they told me to be in compliance. They wanted me to report back with like that I'm fixing the weed problem. And I did. I showed them pictures and they said, "Oh, well, we'll send the weed man." I don't know what the weed man is, but I'm gonna send them more pictures today and be like, "Well, so that's okay. I already did this once. I completely cleared it out and I'll keep doing it." But I just wanted to set realistic expectations. Like we might need to roll sod and like roll out a new lawn for this place, which would be really expensive. So we'll just see what I can do. And I plan on living here for a good couple of years, so we'll see at least. I mean, maybe even until I'm able to buy a home, which I'm still way ways from that. So, and then but before you know it, I'm going to need to buy my kids cars, and so yeah, I might be in here for the long haul. And I hate moving, and this place isn't that bad. I've already fixed some things, so all right. But anyways, ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one. Just be kind. That's the whole point of religion: is be kind and be prosperous. It's the whole point of Star Trek too. Live long and prosper and help everybody else do the same. And if everybody followed that, we'd be in a much better world. But again, greed and money and people afraid of living less comfortably, it's really sickening. But anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. Sorry, I'm making like a